So, reading from the NPR, the Apple News app, Pfizer CEO sold millions in stock after coronavirus vaccine news, raising questions. So the chairman and CEO of Pfizer, Albert Bourla, sold $5.6 million worth of stock in the pharmaceutical company on Monday. The sale took place on the same day Pfizer announced that its experimental coronavirus vaccine candidate was found to be more than 90% effective. The company's stock soared on the news, and then Bourla sold the stock as part of a stock trading plan that aims to shield corporate executives from allegations of illegal insider trading. But these plans have become increasingly controversial, and the issue has taken on added urgency given the billions of dollars the government has promised Pfizer if its vaccine meets the approval of federal regulators.
What do you have to say about that?
Well, what do you have to say, because you know everything?
Well, I don't know everything, but here's the thing. Here's what I think. I think it's a problem. I think that a pharmaceutical company releasing an information that's that important, like a vaccine for COVID, and a day or two, what was that, a day later?
It was just Monday, and then
a day later,
like immediately after he announced, he sold
so
the stock.
As soon as you announce that your company is about to release a vaccine, you sell the CEO sells their 60% of their stocks.
Yeah.
That's a red flag to me. That tells me that he doesn't have faith in the product that he's making. If there's a negative news in the future that comes out,
He doesn't want to be liable again.
who cares? He's already out. He's dumped his shares.
Don't talk to me. That's not my problem anymore.
Look at this. I thought it was real for a second. So it bothers me. It bothers me that someone in a position of power like that it sounds like insider trading.
Right.
How would you know to sell your stocks right at that point? How would a CEO of a pharmaceutical company sell their stocks right after they announce that the vaccine is coming out? That's something that tells me that he doesn't have a faith in the product that they're putting out. I wouldn't be willing to run to have that vaccine inserted in me, because I want to hear what the outcome is. What are the adverse effects?
Right.
How many people who get these vaccines how many people who eventually get these vaccines will it work for? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
What's your take?
Well, the article did say that it's 90% effective. It's been proven to be. So what do you think about that?
90% effective is very subjective, okay? All right, first of all, when the process of putting out a medication, the trials, the people who are involved in the experiment, usually it's a very small sample size of the population, okay? So when you put out that vaccine, let's say 50 million people take the vaccine. Now I want to know what the actual efficacy is. Because if you had, I don't know what the research or what their sample size was for the testing. You know, if, say for instance, they had 10,000 people, 20, even 50,000 people, I don't consider that a significant sample size when you're dealing with hundreds of millions of people.
Right.
That are potentially going to be getting the test. That's one. And two, the other question that I have is 90%. What medication has 90% efficacy? You know, like most medications that you're on have side effects, adverse effects. There's also this thing called the placebo effect.
Right.
Where people have taken medications and they got better, and then we find out that they didn't really take any
They didn't take the actual medication. They took, like, you know, water or
it took
sugar.
saline or what, sugar water, whatever it is. It's you know, the placebo effect is just
psychological.
It's psychological, right? So who's to say that this 90% that's being touted is not psychological? There needs to be more transparency.
Yeah.
There needs to be more transparency. So if you're going to put out a vaccine, I need to know everything about it. It needs to be all out there. It needs to be public knowledge. And that's just my point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Let's cross.
I think that it's way too early.
You think it's way too early for what?
It's way too early to have this vaccine announced, like it's ready. We're gonna start vaccinating people soon. And yeah, normally this takes years.
Right.
And they developed this vaccine in what, 8 months?
Well, it didn't take very long, that's for sure. It was rushed. Matter of fact, multiple healthcare officials, including the president, was like, you know, first the president said, oh yeah, we're gonna have the vaccine just in time. And then there were some people who were saying, we're not gonna have the vaccine until some point towards the summer of 2021. So,
and even that would have been early, I think. I mean, to really thoroughly research this vaccine or develop a proper vaccine, you need way more time.
Right.
So,
I would be more comfortable with telling me that the vaccine will be ready towards the end of 2021 than rushing out.
I know people are desperate. Okay, there's
Who's
desperation
desperate?
Apparently. Every time you go out, people are always like, gosh, I can't wait for that vaccine. You know, just can't wait.
You know, okay.
As soon as they get that vaccine, we can be normal again.
Why do you think this, you know, okay, let's talk about that. Let's go deeper on that.
So I feel like there is desperation there. But I mean, they're willing to put something in their body that has not really had enough time to develop properly. It hasn't been properly researched. I don't think it's, I mean, it might not be safe yet.
No, it's not safe.
And you can, this is your life. So, I don't know if this is something that you want to just jump at.
I, for one, don't understand this over-reliance on the government. That's one. Two, right. I don't understand why people refuse to bet on themselves or take charge of their own destiny. You know, if you're having, if this virus obviously has caused a lot of problems, it's killed people, but we've always faced these kind of, we've had viruses that were difficult to eliminate, viruses that cause pandemics. We have the flu virus annually.
We still have it annually. People still die annually because of the flu virus.
Right, so the question now becomes, why are we so quick to trade our freedoms for an illusion of safety? It seems like we're very easily manipulated as a people.
Yeah.
It doesn't take very much for the government or anybody who's in a position of power or even the pharmaceutical industry to just put out a statement. And these statements don't even have to be verified. They don't even have to, nothing. Just put out a statement and we hang on to these words. Common sense is thrown out of the window. No one questions.
Desperation, because they put us in a state of desperation right now. I mean, a lot of people have lost their jobs. Okay, we all know that I think after January people have to start paying rent, right? Unless they
January 2021?
Yeah.
They have to start paying rent? What do you mean?
So I think the mortgages, the deferment on the mortgages are going to stop. Like
they're gonna expire.
Yeah, they're going to expire I think after January. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen with rent. Like, people have to start paying for their housing again soon, and the economy's gonna crash. Obviously, we all know there's an impending recession that's about to happen. A lot of people just don't even have money. The only stimulus we got was at $1,200 last year.
It's wild. It's wild that months later and they haven't released any more money.
Plus, they're scared, and we can't do any normal activity.
Yeah.
So
are you saying that people are capitulating because they just want to get back to work? They want to get back to normal?
They want to get back to security.
Or is it that
back to like feeling like they have control over their lives?
So is that it? Is it really more that, or is it fear?
It's fear, because they don't know what's going on, and they don't know what is going to happen to them. Everything could change this year.
This has been 1 year. This has been 1 year for the books.
Everyone's life has downgraded. We all have less money now. What else? We can go places. Most of us can't socialize. Some of us do regardless. But still, I mean, I think it's a combination of a lot of fear, also the need for stability and control, normalcy, all that. So it's just, everyone's just so desperate.
So it's more of not just fear, but there's also this uncertainty, and people just don't like uncertainty, so they want the vaccine to be released so we can return to normal. No, they're two separate things, because fear can be just fear of death. You don't want to die. You know, that's
also just be fear that you don't know what's going to happen.
Fear of death is a real fear.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's separate. That's on a separate bucket. Then on one bucket on this side is economic certainty. People just want to go back to normalcy. I want to be able to go to the movies, go to the restaurant, just go back to doing normal things that we used to do. But I argue that that's going to happen regardless. The way we're going, shutting down the economy is not sustainable. If the economy is to revolve and to pick back up and start growing again, we have to go back to normal. We have to get back to what we were used to doing. And so I guess people are like, well, if what it takes for us to get back to that is for the vaccine to be released, then why not, right? Why not, right?
Bring us that vaccine, put it in my body, so I can do normal things again.
But that blows my mind too. That's crazy that you're willing to give up and you're willing to accept anything
to go back to life as you used to know it.
People, it's okay to challenge the convention. It's okay for people to say, wait a minute, can we get more information? It's okay. It's okay not to just say, yes, take my rights.
Think long term here, not just short term.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one with this line of thought, but I think it's unfortunate that we allow these kind of things as a people. I'm not taking any vaccine that's not tested. I know that. I'm not doing that.
Take this vaccine, but
it's not safe. It's not smart. I think that they should do proper testing, take their time, get more people involved, more transparency. I think that's the biggest one. There's so much mystery around it, you know? It's so shrouded in secrecy. And we need more transparency. There needs to be a clear demarcation between fact and fiction. You know, what's the truth? What is fact? It's hard these days to tell media propaganda from facts, and that's a problem. You know, Trump, you might not like a lot of things he says, and he's terrible with words, but he has a point when he calls legacy media fake news. He has a valid point, because the overwhelming attitude to corporate media is negative. People don't trust the media, and it didn't happen overnight. the media lost its trust with people because they put out a lot of wrong information and they don't care. Most of the information they put out, and I'm talking about the major media houses like CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, Fox, they spend their time spinning news for whatever purpose that they have. And most people just want to know what the truth is. What are the facts? Can you allow us the autonomy to make the decisions for ourselves? Just tell us what the truth is. And then when you lay all the cards on the table, then we can decide whether what's right for us. But I think that our economy has operated for so long and under the assumption that people are not smart enough to make decisions for themselves. You know, the market is determined by telling people what they want, forcing products on them, forcing the government on them. And I don't agree with that. I don't buy into the idea that we are incapable of making the right decisions for ourselves. Now, it's not always, obviously that's a blanket statement because, yeah, there are people who need help. There are people who need to be guided or to be helped or saved from themselves. And we can identify who those people are in society and help them. I'm not against helping people who need a little boost or pointed in the right direction. But what I don't like is these blanket rules where everybody, including able-bodied, healthy people who have no reason to be quarantined, are like, we're giving this, what do you call it? This ultimatum to just lock down, hide, give up your personal freedom, give up your rights to to pursuit of financial stability. Give all of that up and lock yourself up because we're afraid of the pandemic. But
how are we even going to help ourselves if we have no money?
Right, we don't
have a place to quarantine if we can't pay the bills.
I like this spot right here. It's a beautiful view.
Yeah, so we're just exiting Sundance. Finally, our HOA.
Yeah, HOAs suck, but that's a different topic. What was I saying? I think we should allow people autonomy. We should.
Yeah.
We're so quick to give up our rights and give up everything that we fought for as far as our Constitution is concerned under the name of safety.
Yeah, it's for your protection.
It's for your protection. You know, I hear that statement a lot and it makes me puke every time because it's like, geez, safety.
We're gonna take away your rights and
how safe are we really? You know, like
what? Your safety.
The argument can be, if you're trying to protect people from safety, what about the homeless that sleep on the street every single day? What are we doing about them? What about people who have to, what about first responders like me, a nurse who's always constantly like interfacing with people who are super sick, like super sick. Yeah, it's part of my job. I signed up for it, but again,
what about your safety?
What about my safety?
What precautions are they forcing you to have?
You know, it doesn't add up. We're not getting any hazard pay. None of us are getting lined up with millions of dollars in our pockets to say thank you for being a hero. We're not getting any of that. Meanwhile, we have a handful of people telling us to lock down and hide.
Yeah.
This opinion is not going to be popular, especially in a democratically led government, but I still maintain it. I still think that people should be allowed that freedom to choose. If someone wants to be helped, someone wants the help of the government, then sure, they can go get the help. But everybody else who feels that they can take care of themselves, some of us who feel like we normally practice safe hygiene, we eat well, we exercise,
take our vitamins.
we take our vitamins, we go to the hospital for a regular checkup. we're otherwise healthy, we're strong and good enough to work. Who's the government to tell us what to do?
Yeah.
You know, who are they to tell us what to do? That's the problem that I have, okay? And then, especially given that trust, public trust has been eroded when it comes to big corporations, pharmacy, the government. If public trust has been eroded, it is up to us to, it's our responsibility to get that trust back. You know, it's our responsibility, it's the government and these companies' responsibilities to step up and regain that trust. They don't regain that trust by the CEO of Pfizer selling 60% of his stock holdings right as soon as he announces a vaccine for COVID. That's not how you regain trust. If anybody else did that anywhere else, that would raise a red flag. But for some reason, we're not allowed to question these type of decisions or moves. We just go along with the go along. Whatever they say, that's what's gonna happen. And that's a problem. That's a problem. But I still have faith. I'm still
No one seems to be really questioning that act in that way. I mean, people are questioning it, but like in the last video that we watched on YouTube about the situation, they were discussing the fact that he should have got more money for that.
I know. It's bizarre.
5.6 million. He should have had billions. He's saving the world. But why is he even selling?
It's bizarre because it could be better. We need better governance, not incompetent governance, not governance that a pseudo-democracy, more like a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Under the guise of dictatorship, under the guise of democracy. That's not what the people want. People want honesty. The people want someone who's a government that's representative of them. And I don't know if that's ever going to be achieved in our lifetime. But one thing I know is I'm not allowing peer pressure to influence my decisions or influence my choices, which is, I think, what they do. They use the media to indoctrinate people to think a certain way. And then now the people now enforce these laws, enforce these things that don't make any sense. Like, you know, notice what's happening now. The police or the government, they don't have to enforce some of the crap. There's now public shaming. If you're not buying into some of the propaganda that's being spilled out there, you're now worried about your fellow citizens shaming you. Yeah. Making you seem like there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with people who want their autonomy, who want their rights preserved. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why we have those rights. Because you choose not to hold on to your rights or fight for them, doesn't mean everybody else needs to be like you. You know, I get sick of this ultra-liberal stuff where people go, oh, it has to be this certain way, and everybody else has to buy into it. Really? Really? Does everybody?